Alright, what is up everyone? So in this video, I'm going to be showing you my little setup here that I've been running for about 2 weeks. My server has been running for 24/7 for months, but I switched it to solar power. So I'm going to show you my little setup in a moment, but let me go over the quick specs here. So it's a i5 6600T, 32 gigs of memory, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 drives in here. One of them is a full-size hard drive. 2 of them are the 2.5 hard drive, so the little smaller ones, and another one is an SSD just for quick transfer speeds between PCs. I don't have all the bays populated because hard drives do consume power, so it can be up to like maybe 5 to 8 watts. We're trying to keep the power low so I can be running it on my setup here. Let me show you that I am actually powering it through my solar setup here. So let me get the cable out. So I got the cable here that goes to the server right there. I got the wire here. Just proof, there you go. Wire. I had to get a really long one. Wire. Oh dang. Spaghetti wires here. And then it goes up and to my little watt meter here. So right now my server is pulling 43 watts right there, 43.4. The most it would go up to when it's like under load, like file transfer or watching media, it goes up to like 53 to 55. But yeah, this is my little solar setup here. Let me show you around. I built this about maybe a couple months ago. I've been running it for 24/7, just powering stuff. I've been using it to charge my power tool batteries here. And yeah, let me go over a few of the components that I have here. For the inverter, this is the JAR Soki pure sine wave inverter, 500 watts. For the solar charge controller, we got the Renogy Rover 40 amp charge controller. So this was like a combo package, so it came with 2 solar panels, the charge controller, some cables. So we have some fuses here. We got a 60 amp fuse, we have an 80 amp fuse. The wire that I'm using to connect all the components is 4 gauge wire, so 80 amps is around the safe limit for that. Got a power switch if I want to disconnect battery power. I bought this from Amazon. It's this little charging USB charging type C, and it just connects to the charge controller, and it works. You can power it on. I have some RGB lights connected to it, and I have a USB type C cable. So when I need to charge, if I need to charge my phone, if I ever do that, or just like a power bank, I charge it with this. Yeah, so that's the charge controller, the little charging station. I also have some bus bars here, negative and positive on both sides. So this is where the power comes in from the solar panels. I've got 2 wires, negative and positive, come from the outside, and then those connect to this switch here, and then that connects to the solar charge controller, and then that connects to the inverter and the battery. So it charges the battery that way. And then the battery comes from the bottom here, so it's routed inside this little storage area. And I also have a little battery switch here. So yeah, so we're pulling about 44 watts right now. It is around 11, it's 10:22 right now. The sun is out, and then so there's an app for the battery here. So the battery that I have, I bought it from Walmart. I paid about $200 for it at Walmart, and it's 135 amp hours right there. So here's some info for the battery, but TCB, 135 amp hours. It's got Bluetooth in it, so that's why we're able to see this. But basically, it gives you some information. So right now we're getting 166 watts, 167 watts from the sun outside. Temperature, still charge and stuff like that. So it's pretty nice to to have that in a battery. The Renogy charge controller also has an app, and I do have the Bluetooth controller, the Bluetooth adapter for it. So let me open the Renogy app here, see what that shows. So we got the Rover 40 here. Alright, so it shows us how many watts we're getting from the solar panels. 222 watts. So the battery is only receiving 166 watts. So the reason the battery is only getting 166 watts is because our server is on and it's using 43 watts. So the maximum power that I get from the solar panels is about 320 watts. So yeah, the power is going to increase. So about 320 watts, 330 once the sun is in like the best position it can be for the solar panels. And at that point, that's when the battery is going to be charged much quicker. Of course, we are losing some power because of the inverter. So we're inverting DC power to AC power. The power supply in the server is inverting AC power to DC power. So there's some power being lost, unfortunately, you know. I do have an 80 plus gold power supply on this. So that should help with a bit of efficiency, but not too much. I was also planning on running my switches, my 2 switches, and my router to the solar panel using solar, but unfortunately that's going to pull about 120 watts, and the sun, when it goes down, depending on the day, depending on the season, and because I have a small battery, I won't be able to run all of that with the battery, because if I'm using 120 watts, 120 watts, 130, let's just say 130 watts for 24 hours. So for example, if my battery is at 70% and I have all my systems running and are pulling about 130 watts, the next morning, if the sun doesn't come out and it's a little cloudy, the battery's going to be completely drained, and you know, the whole system's going to power off, and it's going to shut down the computer, the internet, the network, all that stuff. So yeah, the battery's just not big enough for that. I'm barely able to run the system at 43 watts 24/7 and during the night as well, because as you saw right here, we're at 34%. In the morning when I woke up and the sun was barely out, I was actually at around 15-20%. So I was almost out. So the battery was almost out. And yesterday, when the system stopped charging, I was at 70%. So I went from 70% to 15%, just having the PC powered on. That's it. 43 watts. It's good enough for that, but if you add any more devices, yeah, that's not gonna last for sure. So this is how I'm running it now. So the next upgrades to do, if I want to add more power, if I want to use more power, I'm going to need a bigger battery. Maybe I buy another 135 amp hour battery, combine them, increase that capacity. But I also need to buy more solar panels to increase charge, because if your batteries are big and you're getting not enough power to charge them, it's going to take forever to charge the battery. Alright, so outside right there, that's my solar panels. It's super hot outside, I don't want to go outside. But those are my solar panels. I built this janky setup here, but they are getting power. So I have 2 Renogy 100 watt panels and 2 Timu panels. They were supposed to be 100 watts each, but I'm only getting like 57 to 60 watts per panel. So yeah, that was a scam for sure. I mean, it was worth the price, so you get what you paid for. But the 2 Renogy panels are the only ones that are actually giving me 100 watts each. Cool. So that's my little setup here, my little solar setup, and it's running my server here. Just good enough to run this server 24/7. Alright, if you have any questions, leave a comment. See you guys in the next one.